first memory of Howard was 42 years ago. As a teenager, I first met him in his apartment in Stamford, Connecticut. Howard had a book in his library, and he pulled it off the shelf, and he handed it to me. It was A Stone for Danny Fisher by Harold Robbins. I hesitated for a moment and asked Howard if this author was the same Harold Robbins that wrote sappy, violent love stories that usually turned into bad Hollywood movies. I asked him if he was sure about that book. He told me it was Harold Robbins' first book, written before Hollywood, and basically he said, just read it, kid. So I took the book and I read it straight through. I could barely put it down. It was about a teenage kid like me growing up in a crowded world of conflicting and confusing influences in New York City. As I read the book, I thought, this should be required reading for all bratty, confused teenagers like me. I later thanked Howard and went to him often after that reading for recommendations and life advice. Howard was always ahead of me on the thinking. He was my stepdad, my mentor. He was not shy about giving advice, but the advice was given sparingly and only backed by experience, genuine thought, and true caring. Those who know Howard, know someone who is intensely genuine by nature. There's no spin, no coercion, no motive. Just expansive and deep experience and a true desire to share it with others. There's something contagious and rare about Howard's nature and how he interacted with others. I caught it from him on that first day we met. We shared our lives thereafter, our writing, our reading, our adventures. Howard forged a relationship with me just like he did with so many others, including my son, Aiden, beginning in 2008, the day he was born. Aiden could have missed the impact of Howard influence if it were not for Howard, instantly genuine nature, in which he shared selflessly with Aiden as he did with me. Aiden will never forget Howard or his influence, his spirit, his love. It's a part of him that will stand for the rest of his life, just as it is with me. It's with this backdrop that I remember my last hours with Howard last week. At one point, he spoke to me clearly from the hospital bed, where words were becoming harder to utter. He said the same thing over and over, as if to make sure that I heard them. You are the old man now, Howard said. You are the old man. At first I didn't get what he meant. For a moment, I thought he was teasing. But then I reflected on the 42 years of knowing Howard, about the impact of his wisdom, the guidance, his love, and it came to me. What Howard meant, and I'm sure now, was that I would have to pick it up from here and carry on the task of putting forth the guiding influence of his spirit, his experience, and his love for Aiden going forward. But this time, Howard wasn't quite right. He underestimated his impact on me, Aiden, my mom, all of you. This influence will not dim or be forgotten because it's forever branded on our souls and spirits and on those of anyone fortunate enough to have been part of Howard's life. Thank you, Howard.